right, everyone. Welcome to the AK Legacy Foundation. This event is for the Women in Business project that we continuously work on. It is our goal, our mission, our dream to make sure that every woman has what she needs to be equipped to have a support system, have financial literacy, business development, and we also assist with disaster recovery. It is our primary focus is financial literacy because I believe and we believe that everything stems from making better decisions. But how can you make a better decision if you don't know? So on tonight, we have the honor and the privilege to have with us Miss Dannielle. She is, I'm going to read her bio in just a second. She is going to talk to us today about protecting our business. What good would it be for us to do all this work, to put all our efforts in, and then to lose it all because of an error? Because remember, none of us are perfect. And so, but there is some great news, there's some hope. If we take the proper steps, we can protect our business. Our business is like our baby. It really is our baby. It's something that we nurture, something that we work hard when we're proud of our businesses. And just like we have insurance on our cell phone, we should have insurance on everything that matters to us. And so, with that being said, that would also include our insurance for our business. So, I am going to um, give a couple of announcements so that I can get out of the way and so I could take some notes. So, right quick, we have a few announcements to make. As you all can see on the screen, on May 20th, which is next Thursday, it is National Millionaire Day. So I was like, hey, we're all millionaires. Why? We should celebrate it too. So, what we put together is that we're going to have two sessions, one at 12 p.m., one at 7 p.m. Both sessions are Central Standard Time. And in this, we're going to do some mindset. Everything begins with the mindset. I don't care if you're starting a business, if you have $1 million, if you have $5, how you manage that makes a big difference. So we're going to have some guest speakers. It's going to be power packed, and you're going to also want to make sure that you're tuned in. We're going to have some resources available, and we're going to talk about having a millionaire mindset. Um, it's almost like a cross between a master class and a roundtable discussion. So we're going to make sure that you get what you need. So make sure you sign up for that. Also, June 19th, we are going to have a booth at the Living Word International Ministries is putting on a gospel fest. And we have the honor and the privilege to have a booth. We will have fundraiser items, and we are going to make sure that we have an opportunity to share all about the women in business, what we do. We'll get a chance to interact with people. It's going to be great to be back in the public. Like, yay, we're going to be outside for real. And so come by our booth. We are soliciting volunteers to work. We're going to have 2 volunteers every 2 hours. We're going to do a 2-hour rotation, 2 volunteers at the table. And so it's going to be fun. And like I said, we're going to be outside. So I want to go to 2 links really quick, and that should wrap up the announcement. The first link that I want to take us to, it's not letting me do that one. Let's see. Okay, there we go. This we're gonna have our gala that is coming up in October. As you can see, the clock is ticking. We have 154 days before it kicks off. And you all know, like anything else, time is flying. We're already preparing for June. And I swear we just took the Christmas tree down. But hey, time is flying, so make sure that you register. We are going to be in Dallas, Texas. It is going to be phenomenal. Our hotel accommodation information is pending. It will come soon. The air travel is here. And if you want to be a star sponsor, I'll have more information about that. Here is the itinerary. It's going to be October 15th, 16th, 17th, Dallas, Texas, downtown. You don't want to miss it. Those ladies in Dallas are going to make sure that we have a phenomenal time. Don't delay, because we are going to be operating according to the CDC guidelines as far as capacity, even in October, whatever the capacity is. So don't get left outside of the room. So make sure you register. The next quick announcement that I'm going to bring before you guys, if you go into our Facebook group, we are almost there. We are knocking on 1,000 members in the Facebook group. Come on, guys. I know we can do it. I know, no. I know we can do it. So Miss Cassandra has been so kind and so gracious to bless us for the contest. Let me see if I can find it really quick. My apologies. How don't I do this? I want to just close it out and do it again. So Miss Cassandra, I see she's on. She has been so kind to bless us with an opportunity to be featured in her magazine, her digital magazine. Y'all, if y'all never seen it, it is a beautiful magazine. So go into the Facebook group, read all the rules, follow the rules, ladies. Y'all know how we do it. So follow the rules. For every person that you invite and that they accept the invitation, that is one vote for you. The lady that has the most votes will have a featured ad in the Queen edition. And I believe it comes out in June. Am I right, Cassandra? Let me see. I don't know if she can unmute herself. All right, Cassandra, can you explain this?
Yes, this would actually be for our fall edition, where we would be winning this advertisement because we are currently kind of in production already for the current one, wrapping it up, getting ready for the summer edition. So this ad would be for our fall edition, so you'd have plenty enough time to get your graphics in, your pictures and all of that. You would get a link to submit everything, and we'd just be so excited to be able to highlight you. If you already are featured in the magazine and you win and you would like to, and we can also transfer it to someone of your choosing, we will allow that because business is business and we want to make sure to highlight what's important to you. So that's it. Keep inviting. Let's get to that 1,000 members for this awesome group. Thanks, Candy.
Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. That is awesome that she is sowing a wonderful seed, ladies. Take full advantage. And along with that, whenever we get to our 1K mark, there are some things that I'm able to do on the marketing side. It is going to be a win-win for all of us. So make sure that you all are pushing that forward. I greatly appreciate it. And my last announcement, right before I read Miss Dannielle's beautiful bio, the AK Legacy Foundation, we are on YouTube and we need at least 100 subscribers. I am working on a marketing campaign that requires us to have 1,000 members in our Facebook group and at least 100 subscribers. Not just liking, you got to press subscribe and please, please, please hit the bell. For every person that hits the bell, that increases our numbers. And when we get to at least 100, I'm able to move forward in the next phase of marketing. And trust me, everything that we do is to the benefit of every person that is in this group. So if you want exposure, please, please, please jump on board. Go to our YouTube channel, AK Legacy Foundation, click subscribe and hit that bell. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's pull up Miss Dannielle's beautiful bio. It is beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Miss Dannielle Lewis, she is the epitome of an urban woman business owner who has gained regional attention as one of the top 20% commercial insurance specialists. I love that word, specialist, within the Southern region. Dannielle is the CEO and principal agent of Smith-Lewis Insurance Group, where she and her staff pride themselves on assisting clients to gain the necessary protection. Dannielle is certified and designated commercial lines coverage specialist, which gives her the knowledge to direct her clients toward the ultimate and complete protection. Her career began in the insurance industry in 2009 and as a captive agent, but she then decided on becoming an independent agent who would service her clients better. As a commercial life insurance specialist and serial entrepreneur, Dannielle Lewis has received many awards, such as a Woman of Influence from the International Association of Women. Woohoo, let's clap it up for her. Most recently, Dannielle was listed as a top 50 life insurance specialist for 3 of the carriers her agency associates with. She was also an honoree of the LSBDC 101 Women in Business Spotlight. Within her career, Dannielle is dedicated to the growth of her clients, education on the insurance industry, and she will not stop until she reaches many people that her platform allows. And so we are honored to have her on our platform on tonight. And we pray that this gives her some exposure, that this brings more awareness to her business. So I am going to get out of the way, and I am going to introduce Ms. Dannielle Lewis, and I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Candy. Thank you very much, you guys, for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you all on this evening about something that I know is near and dear to my heart, and that I believe that everyone that owns a business should be informed about. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and I promise I will not hold you all long, because usually insurance is one of the most boring things people talk about. But I know that it's something that we definitely need to talk about. All right, so this evening, I'm going to talk to you all about protecting your business the right way. And I promise I will not hold you long, but I do want to give you some information that you can definitely take with you so that you can make sure that your business and the hard work that you are putting into it will not be in vain. One second, seems like I'm having technical difficulties. Is my screen acting weird on your end?
It's a little cut off. Let's see. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can dive in. It happens, trust me. I was in the middle and deleted the entire presentation. So you're doing great. At least it's still there. So hold on.
See where? Let me see if I stop share and see if that will allow me to maneuver. Okay, let's see.
And I want to say, I think Danielle's favorite color is purple. I noticed I see a lot of purple.
Yes, that is correct. My favorite color is definitely purple.
All right. So we're going to give Dannielle a second to get her screen. You know, I'm telling you guys, technology is just, it's not always our friend, but that's okay. We're going to work it out. I'm going to give away a door prize really quick, Dannielle, and that'll help. And let me know if you need my help, but I'm going to give away a door prize really quick. Y'all know I love to give away stuff. So every opportunity I get to give away something, I truly believe in blessing others. I know that whenever, I don't know about anybody else, but whenever I give, I seem to get something in return. And it's not always monetary or I'm looking for anything, but sometimes it's just the reward of knowing that I was in a position to be able to bless someone else, because I haven't always been in that position. So what I want to do for tonight, we are going to give away 2 of these books. It's called How Money Works, and these books are sponsored by the AK Legacy Foundation, and is a part of the How Money Works Network. And so what we'll do on tonight, I'm going to, I want everyone in the chat to put a question. What is your one question that you have about business insurance? And everyone that asks a question, I'm going to put your name in a drawing while Dannielle is doing her presentation. I'm going to be taking notes and taking names. And so I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to win the book. And then after Dannielle gets done with her presentation, we'll come up with another contest to give away the second book. So Dannielle, are we ready yet?
Yes, we are.
All righty, let's, hey, this is a safe place, and that's what I love about women in business. We don't have to front and stunt. We know that, hey, technology is just not our friend sometimes.
No, it's, okay, so I'm gonna be very, very, very transparent. Today, every computer that I have touched has literally frozen, has shut down. And this is like my third computer touching today. So I don't know what's going on with the technology that my hands are touching today, but everything that I've touched today has literally shut down, frozen, would not connect. It's just been one of those days with technology and me.
And,
So
and that's okay, Dannielle, because guess what? We know that means you're going to bring us something that it's something that we so need. And we know that the enemy never wants us to have the things that we need. So we're going to make sure, ladies, that we're taking extra notes, that we're paying close attention, and that we're going to support Dannielle in this. And we are here and we're ready to receive.
All right. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's roll. All right, so again, thank you, Candy, for the introduction. I am Dannielle S. Lewis, and you're like, well, what qualifies you to be able to talk to me about commercial insurance? I've been licensed since 2009. I did not start in commercial insurance. What brought me to insurance was my great-grandmother purchased a life insurance policy in 1948. And when she purchased that policy, it was from, the door-to-door salespeople, and they were there to knock and get her a policy. And she passed in 2009. And when she passed, she had been spending maybe $85 a month every month since 1948. And in 2009, when we turned her policy over, we knew we weren't going to be rich. We knew it might have just been enough to bury her. But the funeral director came back and told my family that her policy was worth $4,500. And so that right there sparked the commitment in me to be an educator. And so I don't tell people that I sell insurance. I actually sell the education of insurance. And so all of my clients, everyone that comes to me, you're going to come to me and you're going to learn something. Regardless if you go with me or not, you're going to learn something about the insurance industry. So I've been doing this since 2009. Since my grandmother passed, I went and got licensed the month after. Since then, I've become licensed in multiple states. I'm in New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, and I'm constantly growing. I am the principal agent of Smith-Lewis Insurance Group. The reason I did that was because I was working for other agents and brokers, and what I saw was that they were not doing what they needed to do for the client. They were just getting a commission. And so my goal has been to make sure that we are educated fully upon what we need to know about in the insurance. And so why am I coming to you all tonight is because I'm not just an owner of an insurance agency. I'm actually a serial entrepreneur. So I may have a business like some of you all may have in a certain industry. And so I know what it takes to make sure that those businesses are protected. And because I work so hard in those businesses, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is not taken away from me. So I kind of have both things going for me, having the insurance agency as well as the other businesses. But just by you knowing Candy and Candy knowing me, I wanted to make sure that I came and gave you all that same information so you can take it now and make sure that your businesses are never taken away from you because you work so hard to get them where they are now. So what I want to ask is that, like Candy said, if you have any questions, put them in the chat and we'll go over them at the end of the presentation. And again, I promise to not hold you all long at all. So question, when you started your business, what's one thing that you had no idea about? One of the things that you had no idea about. And just think about it. You don't have to actually answer me, but just think about when you first started that business, what was one thing that you had no idea, but you knew you wanted to be in business, right? A lot of the times, most of my clients come to me and they say, oh, well, I didn't know anything about formation, the legal aspect of it. I didn't know if I wanted to be an LLC. I didn't know if I wanted to be a sole proprietor or S Corp, C Corp. I didn't know any of that. Then one of the other things I always hear is marketing. People say, oh, well, I don't know where I'm going to find my clients, targeting, all of that good stuff. And then one of the other things they always tell me is that they don't know anything about bookkeeping, the financial portion of it, right? Keeping good records. But all of that, this information, you definitely need to know when you're starting your business. But one of the things that I never really hear about is they have no idea how to protect their business. So everyone is usually always focused on how to get it legalized, how to make sure that it's marketed correctly, how to make sure that their finances are in order. But one of the things a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs have no clue, and they don't want to really understand, because guess what? They're going to go to the person that sells them their auto insurance. They don't really care to know about how to really protect their business. And what I can tell you is, one of the reasons that I find that this is one of the most important things that you definitely need to know is because what will happen if you start making a lot of sales and you're not protected, and one client comes in and has a claim against you, and that claim is worth $100,000, maybe even $1 million. Everything that you've put into your business, all of the legalizing, all of the marketing that you've put into it, all of the good record keeping that you've put into it, all can be taken away because you're not protected correctly. So when you focus on the first part of it, make sure that you put in that insurance portion, because all of the work that you're doing, you don't want it to be stripped away from you. And even if you're not looking at it like that, say for instance, you want to scale, right? You've learned all the marketing, you have the bookkeeping in order so that you can scale. Think about when you go to a large corporation and you're trying to get their business, the first thing they're going to ask you, do you have the insurance in place to be able to do this? Or if you go to a bank and you're trying to get that loan, they're going to ask you, do you have the insurance in place so that you can get this loan? So insurance is very, very important when you're trying to start your business, when you're trying to grow your business, as well as when you're trying to scale your business. So this evening, I want to talk to you about 5 things that you must know. Not that you should know, but 5 things that you must know, because everybody can tell us what we should know. They can tell us you should know how to make gumbo because you're from Louisiana. You should know how to fry chicken. You should know how to do this. But we need to know what we must know in order for us to be able to scale and go where we want to go in our businesses. And so number 1, I'm going to talk about just the types of policies. Okay, so generally, we always hear about commercial general liability. And I tell you that this is what I like to call the slip and fall policy. This policy protects you if someone comes into your building, they slip, they fall, or if you go and someone trips over something that you left out and you're held liable. That's what will protect you from there. So generally, if you have an office space, the landlord or the property manager is going to make sure that you have general liability. Why? Because they don't want them to have to take up whatever it is that you're doing, or whatever comes, any individuals come in and have issues in your location. So they want you to have the general liability. The commercial property. Now, if you don't own your building, you don't have to have commercial property. That's one of the things that a lot of business owners do not know. If you're leasing or renting your space, you do not need to have commercial property. You only need to have the next one, which is business property protection. So that's on all of your equipment, on everything that you've brought in there, your desk, computers. You need to make sure that you have business property protection. So again, CGL, commercial general liability, is for you to protect so no one slips or falls or hurts themselves, bodily injury or anything of that nature. Commercial property is protecting the dwelling itself, the structure, and your landlord or your property manager should have that coverage. The business property protection is for you. That's your coverage for your items to make sure that if somebody comes in and steals it or someone breaks it, your business property protection is going to protect you, the owner of the business. The business interruption. And so during COVID, I really like to talk about business interruption because we had a lot of issues with this type of coverage. We had a lot of business owners who had this coverage, but they were upset because they were getting denied claims. So business interruption is for you to get paid. Say, for instance, you have a fire in your location. It shuts down your property and you're not able to conduct business. The business interruption income insurance comes in and pays you while you're getting everything situated. And so what happened during the beginning of COVID, a lot of people are like, well, COVID stopped me from making money. In reality, COVID did not actually shut the building down. What the government did was tell you you couldn't work, but COVID didn't physically shut the building down. And so those are some things that you want to make sure that you know. And when you talk to someone that knows about commercial insurance, they can tell you, hey, the only way that you will get this claim is if the building itself, you cannot inhabit it or you cannot make money from it at all. So now I will let you in on a little secret. They've been going to Senate and they are trying to get it to where viruses are inside of those insurance claims. The insurance companies are fighting that. Why? Because any virus could come in. The flu can come in and shut down the building, and then they will have a claim. So the insurance companies are fighting against it, but the legislation is trying to get it to where viruses are added into the clause for business interruption income. Because if the companies would have paid out those policies, we would have had a lot of businesses that would have been saved from having to shut down all the way. They would have been fine during that time. Commercial auto. This is very, very important. Why do we talk about commercial auto if you don't have a car with your logo and stuff on it? If you have a vehicle and you are utilizing this vehicle to deliver things for your company and you have an accident, your personal auto policy can actually deny your claim. If they find out that you were driving your vehicle for anything outside of personal issues, then you can have a claim denied. So now it's been added because Uber is so big, Lyft and DoorDash is so big on your personal auto. If you've renewed or you've started a new policy, they ask you, do you do delivery for anything, or do you do delivering food or anything of that nature? Do people do ride share with you? And that's because they're going to stop you at the personal auto and they're going to flip you over to the commercial auto because you are now in a commercial vehicle. The last one we're going to talk about is professional liability. So I'm sure, do we have a lot of service providers on here? If we do, this one is one that you definitely need to have in your repertoire. Professional liability, it protects you in case you give any information to a client and they take it and they kind of twist it up. And you don't have to be actually negligent. You don't have to have it to where you told them the wrong stuff. If they can say that they feel like you were negligent and you made them miss out on money or you made them lose money, then they can actually sue you. And what professional liability does is it protects you from having to pay out of pocket. And we all know clients don't always do what we tell them to do. They don't purchase the correct item. They don't go ahead and do the service the way we tell them, or they may mess up and put numbers in certain areas that they're not supposed to. But what will happen is the lawyers that professional liability insurance have, they will be able to step up for you. If you say, hey, I didn't do what they're saying I did, we can go to court behind this. Your professional liability policy has lawyers attached to it. So that's one of the very important things that you need to make sure when you are getting those policies, that for professional liability, it has it where the lawyer can show up for you in court and you pay nothing out of pocket but the $50 or $60 a month that you pay for your policy. So before I go forward, I definitely want to do a disclaimer because the remaining items are going to just focus on some of the policies that are most commonly purchased. The reason I don't want to go in depth is because each industry has specific policies that they need to have in order to make sure they're completely protected. So I just wanted to let you all know that these may not pertain to you, but these are some of the most commonly purchased policies. So commercial general liability, again, is one of the most popular policies purchased. And one of the things I want you to know is that it is not comprehensive. And by comprehensive, I mean that it will cover everything. So commercial general liability does not cover everything. Now, unless your claim falls within the parameters of bodily injury or property damage due to negligent acts, sometimes it may be denied. So in order for that person to say that you were liable, they have to have had some type of physical damage to their body or to their property. So if they say, oh, I had mental anguish or mental stress, yeah, that's not going to be covered in your general liability policy. So it has to be physical damage or bodily injury to them. So if that person comes into your location and say, you caused me mental anguish, don't worry about it. It will not be covered in your insurance and they cannot sue you. So, you know, you might want to handle that outside of your insurance, but they can't claim anything on your insurance for that. The other thing is what you need to make sure, you know, if you have been caught kind of cutting corners. So let's say we have someone that makes furniture and they've been using the extremely cheap wood. And then someone purchases that furniture and they fall and they break a limb. Your claim can actually be denied. Why? Because you've added on to that risk. Now, if they can find out that you've used really good wood and that person just happened to sit down and, you know, the sofa fell apart, then your policy is going to be covered. But if you've been cutting corners and adding on to the risk, then the insurance company can actually deny your claim. So one of the things that you need to make sure is when you're doing it, if you are a manufacturer of your product, you want to make sure that you are using, I guess, not really expensive products, but products to where it's not on the completely least expensive side. So they cannot say that, you know, you haven't been doing what you're supposed to do. The other thing is general liability policies only protect you on premises. So by on premises, we mean your location. So if you have an office space or if you even have a home business, because now a lot of people have their businesses at home and the insurance companies have actually come up with home business insurance policies. So if you have it on premises, if you have a $50,000 limit or $500,000 or $100,000 or whatever it is, it will cover you on premises. Now, what I want you to know is if you go off premises a lot, say you go and visit clients or you go and take things to their home, you need to add an endorsement for off premises because off premises is not always covered on your own premises policy, on your general liability. So definitely, if you already have a general liability policy, I want you to check to make sure that you have on and off premises on your policy. Oh, we're gonna go back to it. Property insurance does not cover flooding. So a lot of people know that flooding is not covered in your homeowners. We know that, right? But the other issue is a lot of people didn't realize that flooding is also not covered in your property for commercial. There is also commercial flooding. So here in Baton Rouge in 2016, what happened was we had a lot of businesses that flooded because of the Great Flood. A lot of them were grandfathered in where they were in areas that were non-flood zones. Well, because they didn't have flood insurance, they lost their businesses that they were in for 15, 20 years, including their homes, but their businesses could have been saved by having flood insurance. So what I always like to tell my clients is, even if you are in a flood zone, a non-flood zone, it's better to get the coverage because what will happen is you'll pay maybe $200 to $500 for the year instead of you having a $50,000 to $60,000 claim on when you have, you know, something happens. So do you have to have coverage on the entire building? No, you can also have just contents. So your commercial flood policy can actually just be on your contents. So if you have $20,000 worth of contents inside of your office space, cover that with flood insurance. the actual exterior of the building is supposed to be covered by your property manager or your landlord. So that's the other thing you want to make sure. And I know sometimes the property manager may catch a little attitude with you asking them, but always ask them before you sign on the dotted line for your lease, what type of insurances do you have on the building? They're going to be surprised with you asking them that. But what you want to make sure is you're protecting your items, right? You want to make sure that the outside, the exterior is protected as well, because if the exterior is not protected, what will happen is they're going to shut down their building. And then now you have no place for your business because they were not covered correctly. So by asking them this in advance, you know, okay, well, this person is serious about their business. This person is not going to just do anything. So ask them what type of coverages that they have. And I'm going to go back because it looks like my slides had got out of order. But the last one I want to really focus on is commercial auto insurance. It will not cover non-owned vehicles unless you add an endorsement for non-owned and hired vehicles. So what I mean by non-owned and hired vehicles, so say for instance, you travel a lot, right? You go out of town and you rent cars a lot and you're doing deliveries, or you do whatever it is in rental cars a lot. Well, when they ask you, do you want the insurance? You can either have that insurance, or if you have your commercial auto insurance, you can transfer that over to that vehicle only if you have non-owned endorsement. And the reason for that is because that your regular commercial auto only covers the vehicles that are listed under your business or the title for your business. But by having non-owned vehicles endorsement, you're now covering every vehicle that anybody that does business for you in will be covered. And so the other thing is with your employees, if you have employees and you send them out to run errands, and they're not driving a vehicle that's licensed to you, or you have the title on, if they get in an accident, one, their personal coverage is not going to cover them. Why? Because they're doing commercial work. So the next person that they're going to come after is you. And so if you don't have non-hired, non-owned endorsement on your policy, then you're going to have to pay for their vehicle out of pocket because you have no other coverage to protect you. So you want to make sure if you have employees or you do a lot of deliveries, you want to make sure that you have commercial auto, because again, if you get in an accident in your personal vehicle, you will not be covered. They will find out because they do the digging to make sure, and I hate to say this because I work for the insurance carriers, but they will continue to dig until they find something that will show you why you cannot be, paid. But if you are doing everything on your end correctly, then they have no other choice but to come up and make that payment. So the goal as business owners is to make sure that we're crossing all of our T's, dotting our I's, all of that good stuff, so that in the event that we have something that we need to make a claim for, we can make a claim, as well as if we have someone that tries to come up against us to make a claim, we're also protected. So insurance can fit us all the way around the board. And I'll speak from personal experience. I'm helping a client now who has, she's trying to get government contracts. And I'm not sure if anyone here is licensed to do that, but you have to have certain amount of insurance that the government wants you to have in order for you to be able to do that. And so she tried to bid. She had regular insurance that she went through a company directly. She called them and told them that she needed insurance. And so they gave her whatever it is that they thought she needed instead of sitting down and talking with her. And when she tried to go and bid for the contracts to scale her business, she couldn't do it because she didn't have the correct coverage in place. So again, regardless of if you're just starting out, if you are trying to grow your business or scale your business, insurance is one of those things that the other party is going to look for you to make sure that you are protected, as well as they're going to be protected, because sometimes they're going to be they're going to ask to be added as an additional insured. And when you add them on there as an additional insured, that protects them from having any claims rise up against their business. So having the correct coverage can have you where you want to be in the long run. So any questions that we have in the chat, Candy?
Yes, we have a couple of questions, and I have one.
Okay.
Before we get to the questions, I'm going to ask you, Dannielle, to pick a number between 1 and 4, and that is going to give our winner for the first book. You don't know, I have the names here, but pick a number between 1 and 4.
I'm going to go with 2.
2?
Yes.
All right, and that will be Cassandra. Cassandra James.
Cassandra.
She won the How Money Works book, and that is awesome because I saw her chat. She said, "Thanks in advance for my prize." Cassandra had claimed the book before we had even done it. That is awesome. You have power in your words. So we're gonna give away one more, and I'll tell you guys what the contest is in a little bit. So let's get to these questions. They have some awesome questions. Mary asked, what aspect of your business does insurance does not cover? Is there something that insurance doesn't cover?
I would have, if she can ask that a little bit more in depth, because I need to know what does she do so that I can tell her, because again, every industry is different. So if she can tell me what.
Okay, so Mary, put in the chat a little bit about your business, and we'll go to the next question. Oh, this is a really good one, and I need to know this one. Does a nonprofit have to have a certain type of insurance, a nonprofit organization?
Yes, so nonprofits definitely need to have directors and errors. So what directors and errors insurance does is it protects your board from kind of like the professional liability insurance for a for-profit business. D&O, you'll hear a lot of insurance agents say it like that. D&O are directors and officers insurance, protects your board. Say for instance, your board tells one of your employees or someone that comes and gets advice from them and they give them the wrong advice. It's the same exact thing as your professional liability. It will protect your nonprofit from being stripped or, taken completely out of business per se. So you definitely need to have directors and officers insurance.
All right, our next question. That was a good one. I hope you ladies are taking notes. All right, okay, what type of insurance is, well, I think this kind of answers, she said, what type of insurance is available to small business owners? So I'm thinking sometimes we think that all the things that the big name companies have, do those same policies apply to us? Is there a certain quota we have to have?
So here, yeah, and that's actually a really good question. Like I was saying in the beginning, each industry is different, right? So we can look at, and I'll take 2 different industries. So say we have somebody that does hair, right? You want to make sure that if they own their own salon, they want to have general liability. They also want to have professional liability in case they, tell a client to go get a relaxer and they're not supposed to get a relaxer and their hair falls out. That's professional liability. You want to make sure that if you have the building, you want to have your equipment covered. So it just depends on your industry for what you have. You don't have to have the limits. So here's where a lot of business owners get confused at. They need to have the same coverages, but they don't have to have the same coverage limits. So that's 2 different things, okay? So your limits are, like, say for instance, the $1 million that a business that's been in business for a year or 2 years has. If you're just starting out, you may want to get $100,000 in coverage just to protect yourself. You can then scale as you're growing. And I'll talk a little bit about, say, umbrella insurance. So say you started out, right, with $100,000, and by month 4, after you've gotten your coverage, by month 4, you've made so much money that you have so many clients that the $100,000 is not going to cover you in case you have 2 claims. So instead of you going back to your insurance agent and saying, hey, this general liability is not going to cut it for me. This policy is not going to do it. Your insurance agent should talk to you about what's called a surplus policy. So that's an umbrella policy that's going to take over after your regular general liability policy has gone in, and depleted. So it jumps in, and it actually less expensive than your primary policy. And the reason for that is because it's the secondary part. So after your $100,000 depletes, then your surplus policy kicks in. And so I always tell people that if you feel like you're going to scale in your business throughout that year, you're hustling hard and you're getting the money to come in, don't go back and tell your agent, hey, I need to go ahead and get another general liability policy. Talk to them about a surplus policy. That way you're not paying that extra $1,000 for your general liability, but you're paying maybe $300 to $400 for the whole year, and your business is protected even more.
Great, that's awesome. Y'all get the knowledge. Ooh, it was so many things you said in there. I don't know. I'm like, I just want to pick it all apart because it was like, oh, I need to know that, or I didn't think about that. And when you said Louisiana and the flood, I was like, oh my goodness, I can only imagine the catastrophe so many people experienced because they did not know. And then, like you said, what happened with your grandmother's policy, that is not something unheard of. We all know a story like that. And so it is so important that we read the fine print, that we ask questions, and it's not a set it and forget it. If you got the policy 5 years ago, maybe it's time to dust it off, have a meeting with your agent, or have a meeting with someone else that you can just get some advice from, say, hey, what do I really have? And so sometimes it's not a set it and forget it, guys. We need to always be reading through it. We have another question. We'll take one more question.
Before you go to the next one, I want to jump in on what you just said and kind of ad lib to that. Do not, you guys, wait. And I understand what you're saying, but do not wait 5 years. As business owners, you need to be reviewing your policies every year, annually. Before your policies are up for renewal, review. Sit down with your agent. If you don't have a direct agent and you purchase the policy from a company via phone, call me. I have no issue with sitting down with you and talking with you about, hey, this is what you need. This is where you're missing. This is how you have gaps. Because what's going to happen is if you scale across that year and then you start a new policy and your policy is only protecting you from when you first started, and something happens and you have so much money coming into your business, and now you have a claim that wipes out that entire policy, everything that you've done over that year can be taken away from you. So every year as a business owner, and it's personal as well, I sit down, like this is renewal season. So this was one of the reasons why I've had a headache all for the last couple months. This is renewal season. So every season that we do renewals, I sit down with my clients, I schedule with them 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and we go over your policies to make sure there are no gaps. Because what I don't want to happen is your lifestyle is taken away from you, all because you missed one little part in your policy that could have protected you. So every year, you guys write that down. I'm getting my annual renewal every year.
Just like when you get your taxes done every year, just like you have your yearly checkup, ladies, you put that right next to it. This is just as important. And it's great if you do it all in, take a month, say this month is dedicated to renewals, and make it a priority. The question is, if you have a home-based business and already have property insurance covering any building on the property, do you still need business property protection?
So I just want some more clarity on that. So you have a home-based business and you have coverage on the house itself, or do you have business insurance on that property? Because if it's a home-based business, that means you're actually inside of your home.
Okay, so we'll give Chanel a second to give us some clarity there. The next question is, for a business that's on property, can you purchase flood insurance just for that?
So a business that's on,
I guess if they're renting from someone else.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so you can get, so what you would need contents coverage. So if you only have business equipment inside of a building, so here, I'm gonna put it in layman terms for you instead of in insurance terms. And I'm gonna do personalized because people seem to understand personal a little better. Say for instance, you're renting a house, right? The house itself, the landlord is going to take care of that structure. But you get renter's insurance on the stuff on the inside. Same thing when you're dealing with an office space. The landlord or the person that owns the buildings take care of the structure itself. You put coverage on the inside. So a renter for a home would actually have their renter's insurance policy as well as a contents for residential property, right? Same thing for a commercial. You would get your business property protection. That's in case of a fire, theft, vandalism, anything like that. But then you would get your coverage for the contents for flood. So you would get commercial, but contents only.
Gotcha. So Chanel came back with her question. She said, it's inside of a building on the home property. So I guess there's some property.
Like a shed?
Chanel, let me unmute Chanel. Hold on. Cause y'all know when we're texting people, sometimes our messages get construed. So we're gonna allow Chanel to ask a question. Hey Chanel, let us have it.
So yes, it's okay, go. It is it's like a shed, you know, like how they had like the she sheds, and you know, like the sheds are like really coming up in the world, but it is a shed on the home property. And even too, like for the business that's on the property, like Simone's question, it's the same building. So it's on her home property, she owns it. So she's not like a renter or anything. So I guess it's all inclusive.
Okay. So
insurance, and if you need additional business property.
Yes. So here's why. Because if you have anything happen up in that building, in that shed, and they find out that you are running a business out of there, your claim will be denied. So that's what I was saying earlier. You have to have, now insurance companies are doing home-based business insurance. Because if you are running a business from your home, that area of the home is no longer considered a part of your home insurance. It's no longer a part of your regular homeowner's insurance. It's actually a commercial property. So you have to get coverage to protect yourself during that time. So if you make copies up in that shed, if you do whatever you do up in their crafts or whatever it is, you have to get home-based business insurance so that your business is completely protected. Because what will happen is if something happens, God forbids, and the entire home is knocked down and they find out that you were doing business up in there, that's going to be square footage that they're not going to give you in your claim.
Right. And to add to that, Danielle, it's the same when filing your taxes. And so you have to put on the policy on the tax. I mean, I'm gonna let you clarify if it's the same thing on the policy for insurance, but on the tax return, you can't just say my whole home is the business. You have to have a designated area because it'll ask for the total square footage of the home. The house is 2,000 square feet, but the room that is designated to the business is a 10 by 12. So that 10 by 12 is the portion that you get to write off on your taxes for home-based business uses. Not the entire home. You can't count the, not the whole house. So is that the same with insurance? It's not the whole house?
Same exact thing. Exactly. So everything that you're saying, they will want to know the specs of the location. They will want to know exactly where you are, because if you are claiming that the whole house is where you do business, your home is no longer a home. It's a commercial property. And so they would deny a claim. I would tell you, underwriters won't even look at it. The inspector will come out and find out that you've been doing business throughout the entire home. You can be shut down. And so you want to make sure that you are completely protected. They're going to ask you the square footage of where you're doing the business at. And so you want to give them that. So yes, Candy, that's exactly the same exact thing when it comes to home insurance. And what I want to say is, the reason that they've done that is because so many people are now doing home-based businesses and they're claiming on their taxes that they're doing home, insurance at home, not insurance at home. They're doing business at home. That's the reason why they had to come up with home-based insurance, because, hey, it's not going to be covered in my regular stuff. And if something happens or someone steals something from your business, they're going to try to, make a claim on your regular homeowner's insurance, and you can't do that.
So awesome advice, ladies. Adhere to it. So all of our virtual serialpreneurs, all of our Zoomers, all of our, hey, you need to carve out the square footage of the space that you are using for your business, and you need to pinpoint that with some insurance. I'm telling you, if anything happens, that will give the insurance company something could happen in your bedroom. And they said, well, you didn't specify where you're doing business. You need to have it spelled out in your documents, in your business plan. The room on the left side, second, middle, square footage, here, the picture. Put documentation. Do not leave yourself open. And I was just telling my clients that for tax purposes, but I see now it is tied 1-in-1. So this is awesome. Guys, get protected and quit saying, oh, I can't afford it. But can you afford not to have it? All right, Dannielle, I'll let you finish your presentation because then I'll start preaching about that. So I'm gonna let you have it.
No, I'm gonna preach about that really quickly. I had on a webinar I just did maybe a few months ago, I had someone ask me, is insurance necessary? She was like, I'm just starting my business. I don't have that many clients. I don't sell that many items. And so what I told her, I said, well, guess what? How many clients do you have? And she was like, I have about 20 clients. You need insurance. Regardless if you have 1 or 2 clients, if you're selling an item, if you are actually, dealing with the clients, you need insurance, because that one client can turn and have a claim against you and everything is wiped out. And what you don't want to happen is if you don't have the insurance in place, guess what they're coming after next? Your personal items. So everything that you've worked, that beautiful home that you have, that nice car that you have, that nice bank account that's set up, if you don't have that $50 or $60 a month to pay towards insurance, all of those hundreds of thousands of dollars that you've worked to put in your lifestyle can be wiped away because you're not going to let the insurance company take over that risk for you.
That is so, and if you think we're trying to scare you, I think we kind of are. We want, just consider. We're just presenting the information to you, consider it. And just like Dannielle said at the beginning of our presentation, even if you don't choose her, if you don't choose our company here at Martin Business, it doesn't matter who, we're just saying do it.
Do it.
If you have a cousin that sells insurance, I don't know, you know how we have our loyalty to family. Whomever, just make sure you read the fine print. Make sure you have an understanding. If you don't understand, ask the question. If you're on this Zoom, you're considered part of the Women in Business family, reach out. If you want to ask me and I ask Dannielle, I don't know, we'll put you on a 3-way. We'll do something. We will get the information to you. It is about the information, not necessarily patronizing a business. We want you all to be protected. That is part of our vision. Having financial literacy, we want to make sure you understand what you're paying for and what you're not paying for. So we want to make sure you have an understanding. So Dannielle, I will let you finish the presentation and let me know when you're done, and I'll come back.
Oh, I did see Miss Leah. She had a question in the chat. She was asking if someone steals your jewelry from your jewelry business. You're asking what type of coverage do you need, or what happens? Okay, so what type of coverage do you need from, you actually would need theft. So all of that will be covered under your general liability policy. So your vandalism, theft, fire, all of that stuff, if you have a general liability policy, that's covered under there.
All right, awesome. So we gotta do one more contest. So let's see. Let's do this. Let's be fair. I love being on time. So we're going to give the book to the person that logged on first, but they still have to be on here. So let's see. And I know exactly who was in first because I let them in. And I don't see Miss Yashika Nelson. Are you on? You were the first person on, but you have to be still here. No one. Okay, so we gotta come up with something else. So let's do this. Who is celebrating a birthday in the month of May? Who has a birthday this month? Any takers? Anybody in May? Okay. Let's see. Okay, Danielle, I need your help. I need your help. Come on, we gotta give one more book away. I'm gonna put the pressure on you.
I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Who can tell me how many states I'm licensed in?
Oh, wow, that's a good one. That's a good one because I don't even know the answer. Okay, Kataja says 5. Okay, Chanel says 6.
Miss Mary, Charnel, that's correct. It's 7. Miss Mary said 50.
All right, Chanel. Yay, Chanel, you get the book. Yay. So I will reach out to Chanel and to Cassandra to make sure you ladies get your book. I really, really appreciate y'all participating. And thank you, Danielle. We just threw her under the bus. That's so awesome. Cool. You know,
Well,
that's
I will say this, Candy. Miss Mary, I am claiming the 50 states that you did put it in that comment.
Yes, yes. She's gonna be all in Iowa selling insurance. We're like, what is in Iowa? You know? Yes, yes, yes. So Danielle put her insurance, she put her information on the screen. And so I hope you all be dreaming about insurance tonight and you're, you know, emailing your agent now. You're doing a double take. You're making sure that yeah. And so we want to make sure that you all wake up tomorrow, you send in an email, you send in a text message, you know, say, hey, I need to schedule that appointment. And if you have not filed your taxes, the deadline is Monday. So I slide that right in there. All right, so let me do one last announcement and I'm gonna let you ladies go. Any final words, Danielle?
No, I appreciate it. This has been fun. And you all have been actually very attentive to say this is an insurance webinar.
Well, you're not boring, Danielle. You know, you're not speaking in monotone. You're giving us real examples. You're not using all those fancy words we can't pronounce. So, you know, you did an awesome job. You did an amazing job. Amazing job. All right. So really quick, I just wanted to put the recap up there to join us next week. We are going to have our Millionaire Mindset. We're going to put together, we already have some presentations that are going to be put together and I'm just going to give you guys a little clue. The Millionaire Mindset is not about money. Just thought I'd put that out there. Now if you walk away from the class and you become a millionaire instantly, don't forget about us. Don't forget about us. Just 10% would be great. I mean, we could do good with that. So anyway, and I want to make sure that you all don't forget to mark your calendars June 19th. If you are here local in Slidell, we are needing volunteers to be at our booth. We do need service providers that will be there to be able to tell the ladies, we're gonna have merchandise, we're gonna have tumblers, we're gonna have t-shirts, we're gonna have candy, we're gonna have door prizes. So you wanna make sure that you are at our tent. Come by, bring your friends by, get them signed up to be a Women in Business VIP member. If you are watching this replay and you would like to be a VIP member, go to our website, AK Legacy Foundation. And if you don't, let me put that up there really quick for you. Let me put that up really quick for you. I want you guys to go to the AK Legacy Foundation YouTube channel and to our website, aklegacyfoundation.org. Go ahead and sign up. Don't forget to invite people to the Facebook group so that we can get to that 1,000 mark. We are almost there. And I want to say thank you to Cassandra. She has really been spearheading that initiative. And so it was so fitting that she won the book on tonight. So I want to thank Ms. Dannielle for being such an awesome presenter. She was not boring and she was very, very pretty. It's nothing better than having a well put together presentation that we don't mind looking at. And I know Chanel can agree with us. We like pretty things. And so I appreciate all of you ladies for being on here tonight. Before I'm gonna leave the meeting up. You all put your websites in the chat, put your emails in there. I'm gonna give you all a chance to kind of network in the chat. So make sure you do that so we can all connect. Kataja says, thank you, amazing information. She needed all of this. Yes, Kataja is doing some great things down in Mississippi. I am looking forward to working with her as well. And I appreciate you all for tuning in. and we shall see you all soon. Like I said, go to the chat, put your information in your websites, YouTube channel, Facebook page. We want to follow, share, and like your business.